Next, we're going to welcome up from the university, all the way from the University of Montana, Nathan Loesch, who's an expert in crystal skulls. Nathan, take a seat.
Hey,
thanks for being here.
It's an honor.
A big fan of your work.
Thanks.
Now, you're not a professor or anything. You just travel around randomly trying to find crystal skulls.
I love these
now,
skulls.
for anybody watching, that probably sounds pretty wacky, but you've made it your life's work and passion. And so when I think of crystal skulls, I just think of the Indiana Jones movie. That's the only thing that comes to mind.
Yes.
Now, they're probably a little bit more complicated than that.
Alright, well this is what the crystal skulls are. The carving's made out of pure quartz crystal, which is it's a very common element, but to be found in this size is very strange.
What size would that be?
They range from a little bigger than my fist to about the size of a human skull. The origin of these skulls, however, are not known. There's native tribes throughout the world that have their theories to their existence, but there's no proof of it. But these natives also believe that these skulls have magical healing powers, and they could contain immense knowledge.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, so like you said in our pre-interview, when we talked about there's one famous or more famous crystal skull than the rest. Tell me about it.
Alright, the skull is called Mitchell Hedges skull.
Okay.
It was found in 1924. This English archaeologist was looking for Mayan ruins in Belize, and his daughter was along with him. Her name was Anna, and she actually spotted this skull buried underneath an altar in these Mayan ruins. And the reason that this skull is so famous is because it's perfectly clear, almost, unlike all the other skulls, which are a little cloudy inside and stuff.
Dirty, right?
Yeah, and it's also almost perfectly anatomically accurate to the human skull. Yeah, so.
And they believe that it was just carved, or just shows up there.
The scientists have done the research into it, and they could not find any tool marks on the skull.
Oh wow!
So how it was made is just a complete mystery. Yeah.
Wow.
And Anna really liked this skull, and she kept it her whole life, and she lived to the age of 100. So maybe it helped her in some ways.
Wow.
And she was convinced that the skull had.
She's kept it in her bedroom. She didn't turn it over to science or anything.
No, it's turned over to science now.
Yeah.
But yeah, she just kept this her whole life. She showed it to people and stuff, and she believed that it contained magical healing powers.
Fantastic. Wow, that's interesting in and of itself. The reason why you're here is to tell us why this relates to Doomsday, the end of the world. So how exactly do these crystal skulls relate to December 21st, 2012?
Alright, I know this sounds a bit strange, but you just gotta go with me on this. Supposedly there's 13 skulls in existence. 12 of them were brought by other alien civilizations to Earth, and the 13th one is from Earth. And they're placed all throughout the world in different locations. And it said that when humans are on the verge of a catastrophe,
just now.
Yes. And all 13 of these skulls are going to come together, and with them all together, they can unlock all this hidden knowledge that's inside them, and supposedly save our race. We won't be extinct. And as of 2010, a couple years ago, only 70 of these skulls have been found. Places like Mexico, Central America, South America, and stuff.
And how many have been found up to date?
Well, in the last 2 years since then, 5 more have been found in places like New Mexico, China, Africa, and so maybe there's only one left now.
There's one left.
One left.
So you're telling me with all of these new skulls being discovered in the last couple of years, does that make our chances of survival higher, or does it not matter?
Well,
is the end of the world still coming? That's what all our viewers want to know.
The thing is, some of these skulls might not be real. There's been
they could be copied.
Yeah, there's been fakes throughout history and stuff. So we don't know. But nevertheless, people are still out there looking for this last skull. It's like
yourself.
Yes, I'm an avid hunter of this skull.
Okay.
And you can sell this thing for a lot of money, or we can actually use it.
Or preserve mankind.
Or if there actually is this end of the world, then we can use all these skulls to save ourselves.
Well, hopefully we find that 13th skull. Yeah. We are out of time. Well, thank you very much, Nathan, for being on the show. A quick word from our sponsors, and we'll be back with our final guest.
Hi, folks. This is Don from Don's Guns, where the Second Amendment is live and well. I'm standing in the rental department. Want to shoot a .50 caliber Desert Eagle? Want to shoot a Glock? Want to shoot a high-powered rifle? You can rent them. They're $10 to rent. That's all it is. Come on in, rent the gun of your choice, because I don't want to make any money, folks. I just love to rent guns.
For 2012.
And we're back. Just a quick note, Don's Gun is the primary financier for the show, so I'd appreciate it personally if you rented some Don's Guns. Fantastic products for 2012. I speak from experience. We are now here with Dr. Alex Kautzman, who is a brown dwarf specialist. Is that correct?
Yes, that's right, Mr. Olson.
Oh, you can call me Danny.
Oh, all right, Danny.
So, please tell us a little bit about this brown dwarf, and that's supposed to hit us in a month, right?
Yes, actually that's quite the myth about the brown dwarf hitting Earth. Brown dwarfs are actually substellar objects in space. They're pretty much dead planets or stars that are yet to be born. There are many other nations, including America, that are extremely interested in discovering how many brown dwarfs are out there, and more specifically, the one that's supposed to hit us in a month.
Really? Okay, interesting. So where did this information come from exactly?
Well, the Sumerian texts tell us that one visited us about 3,600 years ago, and the results were interpreted in the Bible and called the plagues of Egypt. You know, you've heard about
right.
that.
Mm-hmm.
The specific brown dwarf that's supposedly going to hit Earth goes by the name of Planet X, or Nibiru. 2 years ago, in 2010, the Herschel Space Observatory was launched in order to study molecular chemistry in the universe. The probe actually ended up taking a picture of a brown dwarf that was orbiting, and it's actually larger and brighter than 50 times the size of Jupiter.
50 times the size of Jupiter?
Yes, 50 times.
So won't that destroy Earth if it hits us?
Well, yes, but it's not going to.
Okay.
Planet X has confirmed to be large enough to be a brown dwarf, or like I said before, a failed star. The Hubble's Advanced Camera for Surveys discovered the object while conducting a survey of these free-floating brown dwarfs.
Okay, so they're just recently found. It's a new thing.
No. Astronomers have actually found hundreds of brown dwarfs in our galaxy since the first brown dwarfs were spied about a decade ago. Most of them are floating through space and not just orbiting stars. While Planet X, or Nibiru, object is indeed large enough to be a brown dwarf, it's still unconfirmed if it'll end up colliding with Earth in a month.
Wow. Well, there you have it. Will the end of the Earth come as we know it in a month, or will we just simply hit the dawn of a new, maybe prosperous age? You've heard it here. You can make the decision now. I'm Danny Olson, and thank you for watching Danny with Doomsday. Good night, and hopefully we'll see you soon.